Hey everybody, it's Dennis again, and I'm doing another interview for my upcoming book, Udemy Life. And I have Joe Parys with us, and he's a Udemy instructor, and I've actually known him for a while on Udemy, but this is the first time that I'm able to talk with him live and in person. And so I just want to go ahead and welcome Joe and let him talk about a little bit about himself, and then we'll start having a discussion. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Dennis. I really appreciate the interview here, and yeah, it's been definitely a while since we've known each other. I think I found you right when I got on Udemy, and it's been a really neat journey for me personally. I'm a licensed psychology and history teacher, and I stumbled upon Udemy, and it was teaching online, and I already had the credentials of teaching in the classroom. So I thought to myself, why not give this a shot? And it's been a blessing, really. And I've just been really fortunate to have met people like you and so many other instructors, and I've just really enjoyed my time. Just really enjoyed my time here, and yeah. So that's a little brief introduction to who I am, and just excited for the interview.
Cool. Yeah, I've actually been pretty impressed. Like I was telling you earlier before we started that I took a look at your profile again just because it's been a while. And we'll be talking pretty soon about all of the courses that you've produced since, I first met you on Udemy. So do you remember when you first came across the platform?
I do, yeah. I actually remember like the exact moment. So I was on Facebook, and there was some advertisement through Udemy. I don't even know how it got there or what it was, but I clicked on it, and I just kind of you just went through the website and what have you, and I saw the numbers for me were like through the roof, because like when you first visit Udemy and you see a course for a couple $100 and you see like 1,000 students, the quick math is
Yeah.
200, 300 times 1,000 equals a lot of money.
I'm rich.
Yeah, I'm rich. So I looked at that and I was like, this is interesting. And I signed up. I put my email in there, and started receiving some emails through Udemy. And the funny thing is, they actually sent me a promotional email, and one of the courses that was the one that they sent in that email was one of Alan Hill's courses on how he is so successful on Udemy. It's kind of like that staple course. So it was a flash sale. It was like $10 to enroll, and I had like 2 hours left to enroll in it. And I thought to myself, if this guy's making some good amount of money here doing this, show me. I would like to. I'm curious enough to see how he's doing it. And then I said to myself, if I can't spend $10 on my own education to do something like this, then why even bother? So I was first a customer, and now I've been serving close to 39,000 students now, and it's been pretty amazing journey. But that's kind of how it all started.
Wow, that's interesting because how you say that you kind of sat on that for a while, and it's $10. And I was thinking as you were talking about that, I'm like, I've done that myself. I'm like, I'm wondering what it is with us as humans, like for something as low as $10. And you said it's a small investment compared to probably what you're making now on Udemy, because I've taken his course before, and like you said, it's kind of a staple course. So that's just kind of funny that you waited, but you did. You made that leap. So here we are now. And so were you doing any online courses before you came across Udemy at all?
So I had no prior experience to creating online courses, videos, nothing. I mean,
Hmm.
complete nothing. I guess I've had some training through school with like technology, but I never created videos for my classes. I mean, we would use, some technology things where I would show videos, but it was never me, teaching it. So no, I mean, really, I look at my experience, and I had zero to start, and
Yeah.
I had to self-teach myself every single thing that I've created on Udemy, which has been rewarding to say the least.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing because I've watched one of your courses where you were on the beach and all of that. And I thought at the time when I saw that, well, I still do. I think that that was one of the best Udemy course presentations that I had seen so far to date. And I don't watch like entire courses, but I've gone through a lot of different courses. So, I mean, I've seen your work, and I think that you do pretty amazing stuff on there. So that's pretty cool. So when did you end up launching your first course after you started watching Alan's video? How long did it take before you had your own?
That's a very good question. I think I took Alan's course right at the end. It was either end of November, December. I think it was December of 2014. So about a year ago, I took his course, and like the funny thing is, I still have the notes that I took from his course. Like he says, like right in the beginning, please take notes. Like here I am, I bought the course, right, and I'm like typing away like all these hardcore notes and like all of this stuff, like, and it's really it is laughable. But I really took it super seriously. I was like, if I'm going to invest my $10, like I'm going to get it back somehow. Like I was just very determined, and you know, I took that and I started creating my first course, which was on goal setting. And the inspiration for that course actually came from some of my students in the classroom. We had a student who set a goal based on the presentation that I gave, and he ended up achieving that goal, which was his dream car. And this was a 16-year-old who, again, had no experience working with goals. You know, no teacher had really ever told them that they could achieve something this big or how to do it, like a step-by-step process. And, you know, I've been fascinated with personal development and things of that nature for ever since I've been in college. And, you know, so I began to kind of structure a little, you know, introduction to goal setting for a lesson. And this kid took it to heart. And there's actually a picture in both of my goal setting courses now of this student, and we're standing next to his car. It's a pretty awesome car. So he ended up making, I think, the car is more than $10,000, and you know, for any 16-year-old to acquire that amount of money, definitely, he was able to do that. I know, my hopes that, you know, based upon you know, the things that I taught him through the goal setting, and we've had conversations, and you know, I see him in the hallway, and he said, you know, thanks so much. And he actually came up to me after he achieved his goal in the hallway and said, hey, I want you to see something. And, you know, he showed me pictures, and I'm just like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. We got to get a picture in front of your car. So
a $10,000 car, huh?
Yeah, it's a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I think he got it used, but he put some awesome tires on it. He got some like an awesome surround sound system. Like that's what he wanted, and
yeah,
that's the really powerful, cool thing about goals. So I started there, and I started with a Blue Snowball microphone and screen capturing PowerPoint, which is as absolute basic as it gets. But surprisingly, that course, for the time, did really, really well. And I really do believe that there's some pretty incredible information there. But compared to, like you said earlier, me standing on the beach and having some awesome backdrops, and me, you know, figuring out the different camera and stuff, my work has definitely come a long way since the beginning. Yeah. And I feel that that's you know, how it should be. You know, this has been a learning experience for me, and I'm the type of person that always wants to keep growing and getting better and expanding. And so yeah, that's where I started, though, was with that first goal setting course, and that's when I met you too, because I think how I even knew about you was through Alan's course, because he either has a podcast or he has something where it was you, Matt Bernstein, a couple other people. I don't know how I found that.
I interviewed him, actually. I think
yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, so that was one of the like the first one that I did, and I was actually, I guess, fortunate to have him at that time do that interview, because since then that's been viewed 5,000 times, and now you're sitting there talking about your goal setting course, and I'm like, gosh, maybe I should have like started taking that back, like, you know, when we first started talking, because you talk about that car, and I'm looking at my desktop here, and I've got a photo of a Tesla on there, because they say that when you have stuff in front of you like that, that it'll manifest itself, you know.
Sure.
And so that's like a $75,000 plus vehicle. so
Definitely.
so more realistic would be the Ford Fusion that I drove when I took a trip this summer. But man, for a 16-year-old to have a car like that, because I'm thinking I had a Dodge Omni when I was in high school, and that thing probably wasn't that much at that time. But I worked for Wendy's, you know, so.
Yeah, right. He told me he worked super hard over the summer, saved up his money, and was able to, go to the car dealership and get what he wanted for it.
Mhm.
And, it is a pretty incredible story.
Yeah.
Um, so it's, yeah, there's definitely, and just, to segue a little bit, since that was my first course, I actually recreated and made a better goal setting course with
Hmm.
even more strategies, and that course has done extremely well. It's more of me using a green screen.
Hmm.
I'm up in front of the camera with that one. I also travel a little bit in that course, but
Yeah.
that one is it's just like the upgraded version of the original course that did really well. So, and students have gotten some really incredible results from that course. They posted, and I even set for myself a goal when I started that first goal setting course. And it was to create multiple courses on Udemy and enroll more than 20,000 unique students by the end of the year. And about a month ago, I actually reached that goal. So I actually made a video and I posted it in the goal setting courses saying that I had reached my goal using the exact same things that I'm teaching you, and I've actually exceeded it
Hmm.
almost by double now.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's just been awesome. So
Yeah.
there's some magic in those courses and in the teachings, and I don't want to go too much deeper into that. I'll let everyone kind of explore them for themselves, but yeah, that's kind of where it's all started at.
That's pretty cool. I mean, like hearing this from you, and I was thinking, like, you talked about your journey as far as starting out with PowerPoint, and I'm more of a PowerPoint presentation type, instructor and all of that. And I've thought about, like, on some of the trips that I've taken to the Oregon coast, wouldn't it be cool to have that as a backdrop and all of that? But have you ever thought about, like, and maybe you do have, what about a course like on teaching people that kind of stuff, like the green screen and the right microphone and just different elements and stuff like that?
Sure. So it's a good thing that you asked that question because I just came out with a course with Jerry Banfield. Actually, it's called the Complete um, course on how to produce videos.
Hmm.
Video production course. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and there's over 6 hours of content. I show you my green screen setup. I show you exactly how I film outdoors. I then teach you how I'm using iMovie and all the ins and outs, pretty much for beginners through some
Uh-huh.
advanced stuff with iMovie. And Jerry teaches you his whole setup. He teaches you with Wirecast, and there's just some amazing information there.
Hmm.
Which computer to buy, why, how to set up, your studio, and it's well worth the investment of whatever the sale may be. And it's been really fun to co-teach with Jerry. I've actually co-taught with him a couple times now, and whenever I co-teach with him, it's like I get to watch him create the lectures for our course, and I'm like the first person to get to see him. And I learned so much, just by seeing his stuff. And I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. And
Yeah.
he's been incredibly successful here at Udemy.
Oh
But
yeah.
so he and I created that course together, and that is something that I'm thinking about doing for a really nice, bigger, going to spend a lot more time on course in the future. And that's just how to create an awesome online course and kind of go through, beginning, middle, ending stages of just creating an awesome course. Because, with having as many as I've definitely had a couple of them that have done really well. I've had some that haven't done really well. So I have that experience now, I feel, after months of doing it. And like you said, um, you know, there's probably something that that other people would be interested in knowing, and I think I might just do my own take on, hey, step one, step two, step three, step four, and then you should have a pretty awesome course and really dive into what microphone, how to use a green screen, camera work, how to go about using the lav microphone and all those different things, and then what students and people want when they come to not only Udemy but just in the course in general. Because I have that teaching experience, which is really nice, and I know how to set up lessons, lesson planning. So I mean, I could talk about that, and that I mean, if you're not a teacher and you're coming to Udemy and you're like, how do I structure a lesson? How do I structure a course? That could be worth its weight in gold, is to have somebody, a licensed professional teacher, tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's very it's not as hard as it looks. Trust me, it's not.
how to be an awesome teacher course or something
Yes,
like that.
definitely.
Yeah. So how many courses do you have now?
So right now I have 24 courses total, and there has been multiple that are actually co-taught, and there's definitely a strategy that I've been trying out here on Udemy, and what seems to work really well for almost everybody is just having a lot of courses. And so I've been trying to really get out there and introduce myself to a lot of different instructors and meet people who have more technical skills than I have, such as coding, WordPress, how to build a whole website there, Bootstrap, HTML, CSS. I got a course on Evernote, which has done really, really well, and how to be more productive. I'm just trying to think about all the other. There's so many. I have a music course. That course has actually done really well for me. How to read and write music, and there's some statistic where it's like less than 10% of the world knows how to read or write music, and that just struck me as that's a technical skill that people would probably be interested in. And I worked with a guy who did a phenomenal job, and he's been doing music his whole life. So that's what I've been kind of searching for. Is okay, there's only so much I can do myself. There's some things that I'm really good at, and that's more of the personal development angle, and the self-help kind of stuff. That's something that's a passion of mine. But for me to kind of get to the next level with Udemy and really just expand it and get in front of more people, I'm going to need help. And that takes a kind of a humble person to say that and go, hey, I can't do it all by myself, right? And to really get to the next level, I've done my best to really get out there, put myself out there, and show people the vision that I'm really going for and all the possibilities on Udemy. And there's so many possibilities, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's kind of how I've gotten to 24 courses in about, I would say, 6 to 8 months. I've really, the last 2 or 3 months, really focused in on Udemy and put a lot more time, energy, and effort into it.
So how do you feel about like the whole co-instructor strategy? Because the way that I see that is I've been thinking about doing something like that, but one, I need to know that it's somebody that is on kind of like the same level that I am, or not necessarily that, but together that we're going to bring value to the student, and not just me finding somebody to put their name on my course or whatever. I want to make sure that like both myself and the other instructor is in the course almost an equal amount of time. So what are your thoughts on that?
Sure, and it's a great question. For me, when I looked at co-instructing, there are some, like I said, some of these technical skills that I just don't know a whole lot about, and I'm just being flat out honest about that. You can take one of my Bootstrap courses or my CSS and HTML course. I'm in 2 or 3 of the lectures I introduce, and then the other teacher takes it away. And I think that's probably better because I don't really know too much about that, and the experts should be showing the students what to do. And it takes an incredible amount of faith and just really in general having a different vision, I guess, on Udemy to try and execute with co-instructors when it's hard, because I ask a lot of people and instructors themselves, and they go, nah, I don't, co-instructing is not for me. And you know what, that's completely fair, and that's completely a legitimate concern, right? I mean, I don't want to co-instruct with somebody who's, going to be screwing things up. But for me, it's been an incredible learning process, and I've been working with a gentleman who, is in Pakistan right now, and it's just been that experience and being able to work with him and talk to him halfway across the world. How much money is that worth? How much, you know what I'm saying? It's just that experience alone has helped me grow so much. And there's been a couple of courses that we've co-created that it hasn't done that well. And we've gotten some negative reviews on it, but we've learned from it, both of us together, and we've created more courses and they've gotten better and even better reviews. And I think there's something to be said for that too, is, if you co-create with somebody and it fails, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Are you going to be the person that goes, "Oh, it failed. Well, I'm never going to work with that person again"? Or, "Hey, you know what? Maybe let's try it again a different way, and let's try and get better at this together." And I think that's the kind of approach that I've taken, and I'm very open to working with other people. Now, there are, again, some things that I am looking for, and certain needs. If you were to come to me and say, "Hey, I want to do a course on, how to walk your dog," or something like that. I just don't know if there's a huge need for a course on how to walk your dog.
How to walk your dog backwards.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, from that standpoint, I have had to turn some people away from working with me, but ultimately, what I found with co-teaching is it's this combination of skills that you both can bring to the table that can really make an awesome course. If somebody's really good at technical skills and I'm really good at presenting and getting the students involved and just having them have a really good experience in general, it makes for a really good course. And I can understand the fear a little bit that other instructors may have when it comes to putting themselves out there. I co-instructed very early on in Udemy. My third course was co-instructed with Jerry Banfield, and this was when I actually came to him with the idea for co-instructing because I saw to myself that he was really successful and was really kind of an up and comer. And I do a lot of personal development kind of stuff, and I just been reading like, hey, you got to catch the next wave. Have that feeling where who's gonna help you get there, or what's gonna occur. And just working with him, it's just really helped me in so many different ways. But that right there, it's a different way of thinking. I can totally understand that. But I would encourage people to be more open to it and be willing to take that risk, because there can be some really great rewards. And what Jerry is doing, and I think what I'm doing, with our courses, can show that there is some really great rewards that come with working with other people. And it's a leverage thing too when I look at it. And I know I'm talking a lot about this, but
Okay.
if I can work with somebody and they can work, that's two people working and coming together. It creates leverage. Like you said, if I had to crank out all these courses by myself, holy cow, I'd be pulling my hair out, and I don't have much hair to begin with. So
Yeah.
it's a great leverage point for both people, and it's a great way to create more courses, get yourself out there in front of people in different areas too. I mean, that's such a great benefit. I got courses in web development now, where I would never be in that area, but now that I'm working with somebody else, I'm in that area. So it's been great for me personally, but I can definitely understand why people would be a little, I guess, hesitant to jump in. So hopefully that kind of explains it a little bit more.
It has to be the right fit too, because it's like the Blabs that I've been doing. Matt Bernstein has joined me as co-host, and I said I don't feel right doing it by myself, but like when we're together and talking, it seems like the right fit.
Sure.
And there are other people out there who shall be nameless that I just would never want to do anything with, just because of their behaviors or whatever. and I don't want to be associated with that. So you definitely have to make sure that that person is going to be the right fit. So how about, like, out of all of those courses that you have, what do you think, or which course is your most popular?
It's, if I were to look at my statistics and everything else right now, there are a couple of courses that are kind of neck and neck. And I would say the one course that has gotten a lot of really positive feedback and that has helped a lot of people is my Evernote Mastery course.
Mm.
And it's so interesting because that was a huge risk for me. I just didn't know how many people really liked Evernote. I looked on Udemy before, and I saw there was only a couple courses up there, and I was like, are people going to buy something like this or just be even interested in it? And this guy had a vision, the co-instructor that I work with, and he's like, using the method that we use, and I've been able to be so much more productive on Evernote and just in my life. Like, he sold me. He's just like, and I'm just like, you know what? All right, I can see that you're passionate about this. You have the vision. I trust you. I think that you can do some quality work for the both of us, and away we went. So that one's done really, really well. The quality is really high. He has an awesome voice recorder and microphone, and the video is really, really well done, and the message is great. The method and the strategies that we use in that course, really, really well done. And I highly suggest that to anybody if you want to be more productive and you want to use Evernote. I mean, it's got to be. I think our course is the #1 or the #2 course on Udemy when you search Evernote. I'm pretty sure it's the #1. So it's that one's done really well. It's gotten 4-star reviews and 5-star reviews, nothing below that, and students have loved it. So that one's done really well.
Let me take a look at that because I'm curious now, because I know another instructor who has an Evernote class out because I've promoted it, because I've used Evernote before and I still need to, like, finish taking the course so I can maybe see, like, what I can do to be more productive. But I actually use it to keep text for my Udemy announcements and stuff like that when a new student comes into a course, or when somebody's hit a certain percentage. So I keep those so I can just copy and paste those. And I do Fiverr. And so when I have to send somebody back saying your gig is done, I've got something typed up ready to go that I can just modify and boom, hit send, instead of having to type the same thing up over and over again. So,
Yeah, Matt shows you, and that's the co-instructor is Matt. He shows you everything you need to know pretty much in and out of Evernote, and it's really great. It's a short course too. It's only about an hour long. He streamlined it, and I found that a lot of students have really enjoyed the shorter courses. They like to sit down, they like to take it, right, and then they like to kind of like move on. It's kind of you know. I understand that the bigger technical skilled courses do really well on Udemy as well. But when it comes to maybe some more like the personal development ones and productivity, those kind of courses, I feel the shorter ones have been doing a lot better. People have really enjoyed the short, quick, in and out, and that's just from my own experience.
yeah, and you know what? I'm here on Udemy.com, and I don't know why it's being slow. I've got a MacBook Pro, but you know how computers are. It doesn't matter. You can have the fastest computer in the world, but eventually it becomes slow. And I've had this for about 6 months. But anyway, what I was going to say is that, well, I lost my train of thought now. We were talking about Evernote. Oh, the short courses. What I was going to say is that that's probably true, because I'm reading a book on Kindle book on Kindle books, because I wrote a Kindle book and now I'm working on these other books, and I'm learning that the shorter books are the ones that are actually selling well, because it's so true in our society that we have limited time and our attention spans are shorter, and so we just want the information to get in and get out quickly. And so, and you're right, as far as popularity, that course is coming up as the #1. her course is down there to number 5. But there's so many different courses and stuff like that that you can take on Udemy, which is a great thing that you can go. And, if you're listening to us, you can go in and you can preview a lot of these instructors, and probably Joe does this himself, is that you can preview a lecture or two to see if it's something that you enjoy, and then the 30-day money-back guarantee. So, it's such a great platform for that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'll definitely have to take a look at that and learn more about that, because I'm all about being more productive, because I think that that's what it takes to be successful on Udemy and as an entrepreneur too. So you have all these courses. So what about a tip for those who are listening, on creating courses, maybe producing a lot of courses, or maybe some more on the co-instructor type stuff?
Yeah, so that's actually will lead me to another course, which I actually just created about 3 weeks ago. It's how to create a Udemy course in just one day and start earning money fast. One day, I know, crazy, right? But the inspiration for this came, I actually tried something different on Udemy. I created a completely free course. And I didn't want to spend an incredible amount of time on it, because I just wanted to test it out, like what a free course could do and how many people would actually sign up for it, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I actually created that free course in just one day. Like, I went out and I put my camera in front of me. I talked about confidence and self-esteem, which is something that I'm very versed in. So there was like a no-brainer. I was just like, all right, I'm going to do like 6 or 7 lectures, knock it out in a day, upload it, and go. And it literally took me, I think, a matter of like 4 or 5 hours. And this is after doing, 20 courses. I popped that one up there, and it did really, really well. People loved it. And it's actually if you go to personal development, self-esteem, it's the first course you see. So as fast as it went up there, there's actually some really good content in it, and the students have loved it. So that got me thinking, I got to be onto something there. And, a lot of people want, like you said, things quickly, and they want to be able to produce things quickly. So in that course, I show you exactly what I do to create a Udemy course in a day. I have a very easy, simple kind of metaphor and system that people can execute and use. And we talk about some of the technical things that you have to do. I don't spend an incredible amount of time with that, because it just would take away from the whole point of the course. And that was a couple of students actually asked me that. They're like, what microphone, like what stuff do you use? Like, how do you do this and that? And I would then, told them I have a whole course on that that's like 6 hours long. Not trying to, lead them into buying something else. But I did say, this course was more structured on just basically giving you a simple system to be able to create a course in a day. And if you want to make it outstanding and amazing and, do all the technical things that are going to make it do that, you're going to have to spend some time, like I have, learning that skill. I mean, video production is a skill. Doing all the animation and working with iMovie, which is what I use primarily, the video camera, all that stuff. I was able to create the Udemy course in a day, very quickly, being outside and doing all that stuff, because I had that technical skill at that time. So I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to show people that technical skill. If they wanted to learn that, that's hours. I feel like more that it's just a different topic, but ultimately it's a great structure. And if there's one tip that I would give people, I guess, to kind of sum this up a little bit, is to really just learn Udemy first before you really start creating, because that was the biggest thing that led me to being successful on Udemy. Is like, I actually took their free course on how to create a course, and they show you, and it's kind of laughable and so basic now that we've done so many of these, but spend the hour or two, or maybe day or two, however long it takes you to really become comfortable with Udemy and how to upload the lectures, what they're looking for, how to do descriptions. Just take your time and play around with that before you even hit the ground running. I know we're so excited, we have all these ideas, and we want to just get stuff out there. but I took Alan Hill's course first, and that was, I was first a student, and then I became an instructor. And I feel like for anybody who's really watching this, whether they're, maybe they've created 30 courses or maybe they haven't created a course at all, it's still really important to go back to the fundamentals. And that's something that, I tell the people that I teach basketball to. I coach basketball, and I'm always drilling in their head, fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. We all want the cool looking jump shot and the spin move, and but in order to get to that level and to be able to show off a little bit, you got to have really solid fundamentals. So that's kind of my little 2 cents for everybody today.
That's some good information, and I might add to that, like teachudemy.com is a good resource for that. And also, I was going to mention that when you talk about like making a course in a day, well, yeah, that could actually be quite possible for a lot of people, because you have to remember that I think it's as little as 30 minutes of content to have a course on Udemy, and you can make it as long as you want, but a 30-minute course could actually have enough valuable information packed into it to be a good course, and so.
Yeah, absolutely. 30 minutes, for people that have, created a lot of courses. For me, 30 minutes, it takes me, maybe an hour or two to do all that. That means, scripting it, if I have to script it. A lot of my stuff isn't scripted, though. It's just kind of like I have an idea, I go with it, I shoot it, and it sounds more organic and very, user-friendly that way, too. People aren't, like, oh, he sounds like a robot, it's all scripted. It's like, yeah, this is just, who I am, here we are, and let's just see what happens. And you know what, if it doesn't go the way that I want it to, then I reshoot it, and that does take some time, but for the most part, it's just practice, and the more that I practice it, the easier it becomes. And so to create a 30-minute course and to have, like, I think the free course that I have, it's only 10 lectures long, and I don't even think every single one of those lectures is a video. So there's like 7 videos. I mean, how long can that take you? If the video is 2 or 3 minutes, and that might not take you very long, to be honest. So it's very, very doable, and this goes back to the concept like we talked about earlier, but the shorter courses have been doing really well. So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. And I would definitely, if you're interested in just getting your feet wet on Udemy or just kind of like understanding the concept, go ahead and check that course out. It's done really well here, its first month.
Yeah, and the free courses too typically do well, because I've had some free courses. I had the marketing course that I stripped down into a starter course, and that seemed to bring in a lot of students to that course. And I've got a newer, like a Blab course where I've done some Blabs with Udemy Instructors, and that one started off a little bit slower, but still there's so many things that you can do with courses on Udemy. So we're kind of winding things down here. I've got a few more questions before we go. What kind of stuff has Udemy allowed you to do as an instructor? Have you been able to take trips, pay off bills, mortgage payments, that type of stuff? Kind of give us an idea so that people kind of understand, possibly. Like the spectrum is so wide. The Alan Hills and the Jerry Banfields are at the upper end of the spectrum, and then you've got a lot of people in the middle and then down towards the end. So go ahead.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll just kind of say, for the first 3 or 4 months, it was incredibly slow. I mean, in the hundreds of dollars, nothing life-changing. And literally in the last couple of months, it's been getting to a point where it's starting to pay the bills. And that just allows me the freedom to pursue this more in a way that I really want to, and give me the freedom to choose this rather than maybe a 9-to-5 job or teaching, and that's what I've kind of done. I made that decision to pursue this full time after my last year of teaching, and I'm still going to be coaching basketball, but the results were there, and I'm making as much now, if not more, than I would be teaching at the high school level 3 or 4 years in. So that kind of shows you and tells you where the income is. And, it's still not at the Jerry Banfield, Alan Hill level, even with the amount of courses that I have up there. But it's definitely getting to the point where, I've been able to pursue this full time and have that freedom. That's worth everything to me. to be
Yeah.
honest, to be my own boss and to um, be creative each and every day is such a blessing. And at my age, I'm not married. I do have a girlfriend, but you know, there's no mortgages yet. There's no super substantial bills when it comes to that for me. So yeah, there's definitely I have some more risk tolerance with my income and what have you. But from that standpoint, yeah, it's really allowed me the freedom to just to be myself, to be creative, and the money comes if you work hard enough at anything and you really, you know, think with your student in mind. The money will follow. It will. And
Yeah.
you know, I look at I look at the personal development area here of Udemy. It probably doesn't make close to what the technical skills do, and I'm fine with that because it's who I am, and I've produced, in my own opinion, and I think a lot of other people have really enjoyed some of my courses, and that just again, just at the end of the day, it makes me feel great about what I'm doing, all the students that I'm serving, and it has allowed me to travel. As you see in some of my videos, I guess as we kind of talk about that,
Yeah.
I've been to Florida. I was in Ohio. I'm in Chicago, Illinois right now, so that's kind of home base, right in the Midwest here. California. I mean, I've been all over the place, and to have that flexibility and freedom is worth everything to me at this time. So yeah, that's what Udemy has really been able to do for me.
Yeah, the digital nomad lifestyle, take the laptop
Yes.
and go. But, you know, it's funny that you were saying, like, that, so you're teaching and you go to Udemy, and I'm like, maybe we don't want to show this interview, or else we'll have a mass exodus of teachers that go to Udemy, and then, like, 10 years down the road, we won't have any schools. It'll just be go to Udemy and learn.
Yeah, well, you know, it's so interesting. I think the educational system is already shifting that way. There's, you know, you go look at colleges. There's half the kids are
Hmm.
taking classes online already. So
Yeah.
it's definitely it's shifting in that way. I think there's always going to be a need for a teacher in a classroom,
Hmm.
personally, but there's definitely a movement and a shift. And again, it's all about that kind of curve. And it takes a special person and to have a vision to really be successful here as well. I think. Um, you know, I've actually talked to some of my other teachers that I used to work with about this, and they kind of, yeah, I'm interested in it, look at it, and what do? They go back to their papers. You know, they go back to the schoolwork, and
Yeah.
it takes somebody to see the potential in Udemy and the potential in themselves to really make that leap of faith. It was a huge leap of faith for me to put myself out in front of thousands of people. You know, I put myself up in front of high school kids, and yeah, they take a they take a shot at me. Cool, right?
Yeah.
And now here I am. I got people from all across the world taking shots at me. It's like, whoa, and
Hmm.
it definitely takes some people who have some thick skin to get through that. And but yeah, it's about having that vision, and I do think that Udemy is a very special place for people who have that vision, who want to work with Udemy, and want to serve as many people as they can.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because, you know, the more that I do this, the more that I'm putting myself out in front of many others.
Hmm.
And so you'll get something from maybe a student or something like that that will want to give you advice or something like that on your course, and you're like, okay, how do I react to this, you know, the right way? Because it's like almost like, okay, well, this person wants me to totally rethink my course, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that, but that's a good idea maybe to do a totally different course on that, on what they were suggesting or whatever. But it's definitely a lot different because you have thousands of students, and I live in Idaho, and I told you that, well, I don't know if I told you, but like Caldwell, where I live, is 50,000 in population. And so you almost have as many students as the population of the town where I'm at,
You know,
right?
that's pretty crazy when you think about it. I didn't really think of it that way. It's like
Yeah,
I have as many students as like a small city. That's
yeah,
kind of crazy.
I know.
Um,
And pretty soon, I mean, when you think about it, you might have more students than Wyoming has population.
yeah, right. You never know. We'll see. We'll
So
see how far it
yeah,
can go.
yeah. So any upcoming courses that you can talk about before we go today?
You know, I'm starting to work on a course, a fitness course with another co-instructor, and he does a lot of co-instructing in the fitness area. That's kind of where he's at.
Hmm.
And I like the fitness idea, and I think that I can add a lot of value to the fitness because I played college basketball. I'm not gonna take my shirt off for everybody to see right now, but I do think that I'm a pretty fit person in general. I take my fitness seriously. I go to the gym every day, except for Sundays. That's my day off. But it's just been a big part of my life, and I want to kind of give some people some strategies that they can use at home because I actually do a ton of at-home fitness. And as you
Yeah.
know, with all the traveling, you gotta. I do have a gym here that I've been using, but if I'm traveling or what have you, it's you got to get a workout in somehow, some way, and I've done a lot of at-home stuff, and there's a lot of great stuff that you can do just at home. So that's what that course is going to be about, and we hope to have that out in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, especially where you live at because you're going to be snowed in pretty soon. So, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. But, like one of the things that I was telling him was that he should consider a course for diabetics because I think that there's a demand for that, like the healthy eating.
Sure.
And maybe as far as like the exercise thing that you talk about, like for me, I would never take my shirt off. But the thing is, though, is that I like physical activity, but I don't like the whole gym environment. I would rather get like my exercise from walking, from mountain biking, hiking, and things like that. So I think that that would actually be another good course is staying fit outside of the gym, you know?
That's a great idea.
So
I should maybe write that down and
yeah,
maybe
I mean
maybe run with it.
it's not a course that I'm going to teach because I'm like going to sit there and say, well, you can be like this, you know.
Right.
I used to be there, but then that's what happens when you discover beer and Thai food, and then you start to
Sure.
get a little bit older, you forget. But that's what's cool about Udemy is that somebody like myself might not be confident enough to go into a gym, take the shirt off, and work out in front of all of these guys or women who are really buff and in shape. And I know other people who are like that and have a problem with it. So if you have a video that you can watch on Udemy and do it at home, then it helps build that confidence to maybe get to that point one day. So yeah. So that's cool. So I'll look forward to seeing that course. So how about one last piece of advice or a thought before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just one last piece of advice, I guess, to give everybody who is watching this. Basically, when it comes to Udemy or anything in life, just stick with it until you get the results that you want to. That's the biggest thing that's helped me is there's been so many ups and downs with Udemy, and people don't see that. They don't see the negative reviews that we get. They don't see the slow months of Udemy where no money's coming in and we're working our tails off. They don't see that, and I think it's important for whoever's watching this and who's made it all the way to the end here to hear that the instructors that are doing really well, they've put an incredible amount of time, energy, and effort into it, and they've persisted past a lot of nonsense, and a lot of it can be nonsensical. But you just got to keep pushing past it. You got to just overlook it, and you got to have a bigger vision and a bigger goal and a bigger understanding of what you're trying to get out of Udemy. And ultimately, for me, I'm trying to just serve as many people as I can and inspire as many people as I can. It's all about just taking my own personal experiences of life and what I've been able to learn and just sharing it with people. I mean, that's what I really love about Udemy as a platform and teaching online in general. So
Mhm.
stick with it. You definitely can get to wherever you want to get to in life, and that's my little sign off, little tip for everybody
Yeah, I
today.
think you know what I think that the key word that I picked up from that, and I talk about it a lot, is persistence.
Mhm.
Is that that's what pays off? Is that you don't give up? Because I mean, I'm always honest that it's like I always joke about that. I live with my folks. I'm hopefully going to be in a place where I can move out on my own next spring, and Now I'm losing my train of thought, but just that it hasn't always been like good. It comes and goes, but it keeps building and building and building. As long as you're persistent with adding new courses, adding more students, doing your marketing, trying new things, doing some of the things that Joe talked about, like trying maybe a short course or something like that to start off, and also making sure that you're reading up on Udemy by going to teach.udemy.com. So where can people find you online?
Udemy is definitely the best place to find me. I check that all the time. You just type in my name, Joe Parys, or you can message me right there. Email is another great way to get a hold of me. It's just joeparyscoaching@gmail.com. And then I actually have a website where you can go to. It's just joeparys.com. And it's kind of under construction right now. But the best place to find me is on Udemy.
Yeah, you need to go to Diego Davila's webinar on making a WordPress website.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and just spell your last name so people know how it's spelled?
Yeah, it's just Parys. So Paris, France, but instead of an I, a Y.
Great, because that way if they see the video somewhere where they're, because I'm going to attach all of that stuff, but you never know with video where it might end up.
Definitely.
So good. My name's easy to spell. I'm at dennisjsmith.com. And Joe, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for taking time out with me today to talk about the stuff that you're doing. I really think that you're a very inspirational person. Like I talked about the video where you're on the beach. You just sound so professional and all of that. And so I'm glad that we finally had this moment to chat and see what you're up to and all of that. And I'm going to take a look at some more of your courses and maybe try to take a look at some of those and see if I can take away some stuff on Evernote and that one-day Udemy course. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you as well, and I look forward to hopefully having many more of these in the future and creating more courses. And if anybody has any questions or wants to talk to me, Udemy is a great place, and I thank you again for the interview.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching.